Ας περάσουμε στο επόμενο θέμα, το οποίο αφορά την ενημερωτική συνάντηση που διοργάνωσε το Hellenic Medical Society σε συνεργασία με τον οργανισμό Europeans, ο οποίος εστιάζει το ενδιαφέρον του για τις ενέργειές του στα δικαιώματα των πολιτών. Θέμα συζήτησης ήταν το Brexit and your rights, Greek community in the UK. Στο πάνελ ήταν ο δικηγόρος Μιχάλης Αράπης, η δόκτωρ Κική Σονίδου, η Σανχίρα Πατέλ, σύμβουλος μετανάστευσης και η Ταμάρα Φλάναγκαν, η οποία είναι διευθύντρια του project του New Europeans. Στο βίντεο που ακολουθεί θα σας παρουσιάσουμε αποσπάσματα από αυτή την πολύ σημαντική ενημερωτική συζήτηση που πραγματοποιήθηκε στο Europe House.
So, hello, good evening. Okay. I would like to welcome you all in this event tonight here at the Europe House in London. My name is Michael Arapis and I am the Honorary Treasurer of the New Europeans Association Limited and the Wales Coordinator for the New Europeans. This event is co-hosted by the New Europeans and the Hellenic Medical Society and is about the rights of EU citizens in the UK and how Brexit will impact our lives. The event is live streamed as well and the video will be posted online afterwards so everyone will be able to see it and use the information provided. We will have a short address from the panelists and then the presentation from the immigration solicitor Shankhira Patel, an associate at the law firm Fragomen. You will be able to ask questions at the end of the presentation. The presentation will be in English, but if there are any questions that you may have and you perhaps feel more comfortable to ask them in Greek, please do so and I will interpret. So, the New Europeans is a wonderful organization who is fighting for the rights of EU citizens in the UK and the UK citizens in the EU, and I'm very proud to be a member, and I will encourage you all actually to join and support us. I'm a volunteer, and I work for this organization simply in order to safeguard our rights. More about the New Europeans later. So now, okay. I would like to thank very much for their hard work, Tamaara Flannagan, OBE, the lady here, Roger Kazali, the CEO of the New Europeans, and of course Tamsin Kumis, who worked very hard for the organization of this event. Thank you. So I would also like to thank the Hellenic Medical Society for their support and especially the president, Dr. Miltos Krokidis. So at the end of the Q&A session after the presentation, please stay and join us for some snacks and refreshments at the back of the room there. And the building closes at 9, so we have to leave by that time. It gives me great pleasure then at this moment to call Tamaara Flannagan, OBE, who will explain more about our work and our campaigns. She's the project manager of the New Europeans.
I'm just going to tell you a little bit about New Europeans. It was started in 2012 by Roger Kazali, and originally its idea was to remind European citizens living in the UK particularly that they had other rights than working and studying, that they could stand for Parliament, that they could vote in elections, that they could be active in their communities, they could be a crime commissioner if they wanted to be, but that there was a broader role around European citizenship than was necessarily being brought to their attention. So we did quite a lot of work in the first couple of years, encouraging EU citizens to make their voices heard in their local communities. And in our numbers, we have some people who are councillors, who are mayors formerly, who have been pretty active in their communities. This theme of making your voice heard became very important in 2015, and this, you'll remember, is the year before the Brexit. And in fact, a negative discourse grew up in the UK, not so much for Greek citizens, but for other kind of Eastern European citizens. We saw negative television reports, newspapers, people are taking our jobs, taking our homes, taking our schools, taking our benefits. I always struggle with taking benefits and jobs, but there we are. These negative discourse don't always make sense, do they? So we were working a lot at that time to say it's time that people understood who Europeans are, the huge contribution they're making in this country, and the talents and strengths they bring. And it was just as well we started down that road, because along came Brexit in 2016, and we've spent a lot of time since then doing really a lot of work around leaving the EU, which is rather unfortunate because it wasn't our original mission, but It's what's needed at this time. Roger in particular does a lot of work at a European level. He works with the European Parliament. There's a friendship group who have been particularly looking at safeguarding Europeans in the UK and British Europeans elsewhere, their rights. He's been working on a green card campaign, which is about every European citizen having a form of identity that they're European, irrespective of what their national immigration authorities are saying. And here in the UK, we've been doing rather more practical work. We've been working with the Home Office, who have designed now the settled status scheme, which is actually open for people to apply at this time, albeit it's still a kind of practice. And it will open formally on the, well, Sahira will tell you, I think, 29th of March. And in support of people understanding about settled status, we have also worked with the GLA. We have someone seconded to the Mayor's office, and as a result of that work, you will see, it's on our website, but there are some leaflets here. There is a hub now on the Mayor of London's website. It's in 27 languages, and it tells you where you can find information about settled status and where you can get immigration advice. At this stage, it's quite young, so it will need to be developed a bit more, but it is there. One of the things that New Europeans does is to produce languages in leaflets, rather, in own language. This one happens to be Bulgarian, I think. We don't have a Greek one, we haven't got round to that. But it's not because we don't think people speak good English. It's because we think when you're talking about your immigration status, you want to be absolutely certain about the terminology. And I'm sure the hero would say that there isn't a very good translation for settled status even yet. So that's been an important part of our work. The Mayor's office, the work that's going on there, you will have noticed the London is Open campaign. If you watched the fireworks on New Year's Eve, it was the 27 languages saying London is open, which caused a bit of a furore in some quarters, but the Mayor is very stalwart in making Europeans feel this is your home and you don't need to go anywhere, but you do need to apply for settled status. And that's the important message of all of the sessions that we do, where we're aided and abetted by very well-informed and expert lawyers, that it won't go away. Even if you've been here 30 years, even if you've got a flippy green bit of paper that you got when you came, everybody, with a few exceptions, has to apply for settled status. And I think it's fair to say, whatever happens, settled status will be with us. It will be something offered to European citizens living in the UK as a recognition of their presence. So no deal, settled status. A deal, settled status. I think even no Brexit, settled status. Because the Home Office have worked on it for 2 years, they've put a lot of effort into it, and we are one of the few countries who don't register Europeans living in their country. Every other country, with the exception of Sweden, you have to tell them you're there after 3 months, but we don't in the UK, so this is a way for us to kind of fall in line with other European states. So we have a few leaflets that you can find, particularly with our website on it, because that's where links to the hub, as well as the hub, links to our information leaflets in own languages, but also in English, links to our booklets about how to survive Brexit, things you need to think about, and I would encourage you then to go on that website. Thank you.
Okay, so I will now call Dr. Kiki Sonidu, Dr. Kiriaki or Kiki Sonidu, the president-elect of the Hellenic Medical Society. They're actually co-hosting the event as well.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guest, we have the Consul of the Greek Embassy here with us tonight. Thank you very much for attending. And other precious friends, colleagues, thank you all for being here on a Friday evening. I want to thank the New Europeans for asking me initially to, if I would be interested in proposing to Hellenic Medical Society to participate in this event. My name is Dr. Kiki Sonidu. I'm a GP with special interest in cardiology. I'm 11 years in UK. I practice as doctor in NHS. I'm the new president-elect of the Hellenic Medical Society, and I'll take over when the actual president steps down in a few months, and I will serve the society for 2 years. I'm Goodwill Ambassador and Head of Health Diplomacy for the Hellenic Institute of Cultural Diplomacy in UK. We have the chairman with us here today. So we try to promote a lot about health and the rights of the doctors working in UK. The Hellenic Medical Society is 30 years on, is an amazing charity society as well, which was created by renowned professors 30 years back, and they have served a lot and they have offered a lot in the scientific community. It was great not only to know what obligations we have, but what rights we also have, because over 12,500 Greek doctors left the country the last decade, which is a huge number for our country, which is kind of small country. And according to the latest updates from GMC, we are 3,575 Greek doctors actually currently in UK, serving mostly NHS. This is a quite significant number. The reason we wanted to do this event, and I thank Dr. Krakidis, who could not be with us today, he's overseas, who accepted to promote this not only to doctors, but to every European Greek and not only citizen, because it's not only, as I said, about doctors, it's about our rights and obligations and what is going to happen in a month's time. So thank you very much for having us with you today. We're not so much in politics as you are and so active and capable, but we serve this community and we offer a lot as doctors, so we want our rights to be preserved. Thank you very much.
So I guess now we're going to the main part of the evening. So I will ask Shankhíra Patέλ, who is an expert in immigration law and an associate at the law firm Fragomen, to give us a presentation, which will be followed by a Q and answer session. So up to you.
But while it changes, I also just want to stress that my key message that I want to get across today, and the reason that we do these, is because I was asked earlier, how can you be certain in an area where there is so much certainty at the moment, and every day, every evening, you will see more and more updates. So what I really want to do is to highlight what we already know. Now, there are a lot of things that we don't, but as has been mentioned, the key thing really is that everybody will have to register for status unless they already have some form of status in the UK. So I'll go over the exceptions, but by and large, all European nationals who are living here, and people who are living here before Brexit date, will be able to stay, but you will have to register. So that's really the key thing. And that's why the main bulk of this is focused very simply on the application process, but you will have a chance to ask questions about anything I didn't cover at the end. So what we're going to talk about, as I said, is mainly the EU settlement scheme. I've actually taken screenshots of all the application stages for your reference, because a lot of the questions I get given are very practical questions. How can I apply? Which documents do I need to upload? How do I download the app? But I just want to stress I won't go through every single one of these slides. It's just there for your reference, and you will get a copy of the slides, I think, afterwards, so you will be able to see it and follow those steps. And I'm already going to cover a few questions I get asked a lot, and we'll only spend a bit of time on the impact of no deal, and that's just really to reassure people, because really the key thing is, even if there is no deal, for people who are already here, your rights will still be protected. You will just need to apply for status. So that is really the main thing. So, as I say, I'm not going to focus too much on the uncertainty, but I thought it's worth starting off with it because I know that's really what's on everybody's mind. So the situation that we find ourselves at the moment is the UK will leave the European Union on the 29th of March 2019, but we don't know exactly what kind of system is going to be in place, because it depends on a number of things. So you will have seen that the deal that has been agreed between us and the European Union was voted down, and we won't have another vote now until the 12th of March. So any number of these things could happen. We could have the current deal being agreed. We could have a completely new deal. Brexit could potentially be delayed. So a lot of people have been asking about this. But even if it is delayed by a few months or longer, the key thing is you will still need to apply for settled status or pre-settled status. And I'll talk about both of those. So there's no point delaying that application. So for your purposes, regardless of whether it's delayed or not, the key thing is you still need to make that application. And what I really want to stress is, it's true that a no-deal Brexit is possible. It will need to be approved by Parliament in order for that to happen. But even if there is a no-deal Brexit, the government has said that all European nationals who are living here by the 29th of March will still be able to remain in the UK. You will just have a shorter period of time to make your settled status application. And I will go over those deadlines. The deadlines that you need to apply by are in the slides, but the slides will be circulated, and I'll talk about them so much today that hopefully you'll know them anyway. So yeah, all I've said here is this is the kind of uncertain situation we find ourselves in. But what this means for you is that at some point, free movement is going to end, and so you will need to apply for settled status or pre-settled status. And I've put here, it's the deadline that I've been talking about to apply is 31st of December 2020. That's if there's no deal. Now, if there is a deal, you will have a bit more time. You will have until June 2021. But what I've kind of been recommending is that you should try and apply by the 31st of December 2020 anyway, because that way you're protected whether there is a deal or whether there's no deal. So that is really the best way to protect yourself, given the uncertainty that we face. And just to mention, because again, I do get asked about this quite a lot, a second referendum with potentially no Brexit is possible, but I'm not going to talk about that at all, because that's not the situation that we're in currently. So I'm proceeding on the basis that we will have Brexit at some point and that you will need to register your status.
Περισσότερα από αυτή τη συζήτηση θα σας παρουσιάσουμε προσεχώς στην εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV.